How often should the manager or the team leader communicate with his or her team? Hey, that's a great question. And the answer to that, you may not like this. The first thought on the answer to that is as much as it takes. Some people love meetings. Some people don't love meetings. Some people love to get the meetings in an email. Okay, great. Some people say, if you give me the meeting in an email, that I don't actually need to come to the meeting, right? Ish. Could be right. It depends on the culture. Remember, culture is the way we do what we do and the way we allow it to be done. Because sometimes you need a little FaceTime. Sometimes you just need to sit across the table or sit across the room or in the coffee shop, across from a coffee. Like, there's not a right or wrong way to do it, but sometimes you just need to talk face to face. So one of the things that I recommend doing is, if it can be an email, make it an email. So the bullet points, a lot of the high level things that you're talking about that you would go over in your meeting, if you can make that an email, then still have your meeting. And I would say, like, there's one organization we partner with, and they have a meeting every once a week in the morning for 30 minutes. And they do it like clockwork every single week. It's one department in an organization. They do it every single week. So there's a built-in opportunity for communication. Now, if you just come in and we just talk about things that aren't moving the needle forward in our organization, that aren't moving the ball forward, if we're just coming in to talk about NBA basketball, which is what I mean, I'm happy, I'm down to talk about some NBA basketball. If we're just talking about that, that's unless our business is affected by NBA basketball, then we're not going to get a whole lot done. However, what if you could say all the things that you just get through? We just got to say it. We got to get through it. What if you could say all those things in an email? And then when you come together, you do get a chance to talk about NBA basketball for a minute. You get a chance to ask and say, hey, how's everybody doing? What's going on in your world? You get a chance to help people feel seen and feel valued, not just feel like a worker, not just feel like an employee, not just feel like someone who's not really valued. They're just here to do their job. Of course, that's not how you see them as a leader, as a manager, as a business owner. That's not how you see them. But a lot of times when we don't feel like we're being valued, we do things we wouldn't normally do. And we don't do things the way we would normally do it. So one of the things I would strongly recommend, if you do have a regular meeting, and I would encourage you to have a meeting, whether it's once a week, every other week, once a month, have the meeting, be clear and be consistent. Be clear when the meeting is and be consistent to have the meeting. Are there exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. But let's have a rule so there can be an exception to it, right? So in the question, how often should we have the meeting? You should absolutely have a meeting, one as often as you need to see people's faces, and then two, as often as you need to create your point or to communicate your points clearly. Don't assume just because you hit send on the email or the text message that the message was received. That's not communication. Communication is not just sending information, it's the transfer of it. It's making sure that it's clear. And a lot of times we don't do that. We just do what's the minimum necessary. And then when you communicate, you want to be clear and you want to be consistent. You want to be clear and you want to be consistent. You want to be clear and you want to be consistent. Hey, Mike, is there such a thing as over communicating? Unfortunately, for those of us who are communicators, we want to say the answer is yes, but just the time we think we've said it, we've said it so many times, I don't have any more words to say about it. Whatever the topic is, whatever the subject is, listen, I've already said it, Mike, I'm about to lose my mind. Good news, you're just getting started. Because the goal of communication is not that I say the thing. The goal of communication is that communication actually occurs. The goal of communication is that it's actually taking place.